Well, good morning from the cloudy city of Nagano. Well, I've arrived at the Kawanakajima old battlefield. So each of these statues represents a warrior from each of the clans that fought here. The Takeda and the Usugi clans. This is the flag of the Takeda army, and that's the flag of the Usugi army. And they fought on these grounds 5 times within the space of, I don't know, I think 20 years, all because each of them wanted to claim the land between the 2 rivers that surround here. Even here, this is a burial mound, and it contains the bodies of about 6,000 fallen soldiers from the battles. There is another burial mound over this direction. I'm not sure how many that contains, but just goes to show you that, you know, places that you walk through casually every day, a lot has happened in those places. We just never think of it, or we don't even know about some of it. I find that quite interesting, to be honest. Kind of makes you appreciate how lucky we are that most of us are not involved in battles like that. Of course, nowadays the idea of war is such a shocking thing, but back then, part of regular life. You know, when you're walking through a place like this, it's kind of weird, but you can nearly feel the history in it, if you know what I mean. There's something about the place that has a, I don't know, you can feel, it's hard to explain. I'm sure you know what I mean if you've been somewhere of historical significance. At the entrance to the Imperial Army underground headquarters that was never used in World War II. This was built as a last resort in case the Allied forces invaded mainland Japan. So they would move all of their government, all of the organs of the Japanese government here. Oh, I have to duck down. I don't know if you can see anything. Wow. These tunnels stretch all around for about 10 kilometers, which is crazy when you think of it. Well, it's strange because when you're standing at these fences, you can actually hear the bats. Now, when this was being excavated, there were a lot of Japanese workers brought in to help excavate it, of course. But most of the people that were brought in to excavate this were Koreans. Now, some of them had been working in Japan on construction sites, so they were brought in. But the majority of the Koreans that were excavating this were actually forcibly brought from Korea here to dig these tunnels. And just outside the entrance, there is a memorial dedicated to the Koreans who worked here. It's hard to imagine just how big this tunnel network actually is, because I just walked on the main kind of visitor way that they give you. You can't go any other way. It's fenced off areas everywhere. But every 10 meters or so, there's fenced off ways. Obviously we can't go down them, but you can imagine how far they spread out. It's fascinating. It's so dark down here. These lights, they only give light to the area right around them, but in between, it's very dark. And I think the fact that the Imperial Army was preparing this tunnel to move the core of the government too, I think it goes to show you that they thought the idea of Allied forces landing on mainland Japan was a real possibility. It's crazy. Like they were going to move the core of the government to a tunnel system. Yeah, it's just madness when you think of it. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm the only one in the tunnel now, except for the bats. It's kind of creepy, but very cool as well. So silent. I'm just whispering because I don't know actually. Sound travels, so maybe if there's people coming down there thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Anyway, I'm gonna get out. That was fun. I was also thinking on my way back out, isn't it funny how something like this tunnel system that was gonna be crucial for the Imperial Army in case of an invasion of Allied forces just turns into this side of the road attraction that people just pass by and drop in and drop out. You know, you kind of just don't realise how big a deal this was back in the day. Now you don't think of it, you think of it as a cave system, the army built it, but this was going to be really important. And now you can just walk in with a hard hat, wave to the old man that's sitting at the little parking lot, and that's it. Just when you think of it like that, you know. Back to civilization. Rainy civilization. Damn. This was the memorial to the Koreans that I was talking about down there. And that's the entrance that I just came out of, as you know. Damn weather. These kind of things, when you come across them, are just beautiful. Unexpected. Small shrine here. Just ended up in the grounds of a random temple. Not really sure who these people are, but I'm quite impressed by the display. It's cool, isn't it? So, just looped back to Nagano Center. Actually looped back to the Zenkoji temple the way I went, but that was a very interesting morning, I have to say. Quite enjoyed it. And then it was just topped off by finding that little shrine at the top of the stairway. That was a nice little unexpected find. So I'm gonna go back to the hostel now, have a little rest, change around my shorts because it got cold. You know, it started raining earlier, and at the start of the video I was gonna say, Jesus, Apple weather lied to me, because it told me it was gonna rain, and I'm sweating. It was warm this morning when the sun came out, but just when I got to the underground tunnels, rain came down, so I'm glad I didn't say anything about the Apple weather. It's never wrong. And just while I'm back in the grounds of Zenkoji Temple, I was just doing a bit of reading up on this pagoda, and it turns out, I think I remember it's called the Chure Den. Chure Den, yeah, I think so. But the ashes of 2.4 million people that died in Japanese wars over the last 150 years are interred in this pagoda. Imagine that, 2.4 million people, the remains of them in there. Crazy to think of it. Rotating the stone wheel may save one from pain and suffering. Well, there's no harm in this, is there? No pain and suffering for me, I hope.